With growth comes pressure, congestion, infrastructural strain, and the urgent need for smarter, more sustainable transportation systems. Across the world, cities facing these challenges are increasingly turning to public private partnerships as a way to bridge funding gaps, improving efficiency, and to deliver world-class transport solutions. But how do these partnerships really work? What makes them succeed or fail? Especially in a complex environment, in a complex urban environment like Lagos. In recent years, the Lagos state government has taken bold steps to re-image urban mobility, collaborating with private sector players to modernize public transportation. One of the most notable initiatives is LagRide, a technology-driven ride and transport solution designed to enhance mobility, create jobs, and provide safer, more reliable transport options for residents. To help us this morning to have this discussion on public-private partnership on transportation, we have a stakeholder, but we will not unveil him now. We want to see what his profile frame looks like. All right. When you have intimidating CV, at times you just don't know what to say. You want to say, what will I talk? What a beautiful, intimidating CV that was. All right. Discussing the topic public-private partnership in urban transportation with us this morning. Let's roll the drums as we have the pleasure to bring to our set this morning the Executive Director, LagRide Nigeria Limited. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good to have you with us. Yes, and let me mention that he is also the former chairman of Eredu Local Council Development Area. Thank you for coming to our show this morning, and thank you so much, sir. Okay, let's start with this question. You know, when we talk about public-private partnership, a lot of people do not understand. When they hear PPP, and they really do not understand the in-depth of what public-private partnership is. And you know that usually people say that government has no business in doing business. You know, so which one is a public-private partnership again, please?
Yeah, thank you very much. And it's a pleasure to be here. The space is wide, and government responsibility is to create an enabling environment for businesses to thrive. But in some cases, there are initiatives that will require, a move from government, or channeling the path. So some of the public assets that you see, there's a lot of emotional attachment to it by the state. So sometimes, one, it will be that the government does not really literally want to remove its hands from it, wants to still retain, a chunk of the business. And some, it requires that government to play a lead role, in creating the path for private sector to come in. And there are some organizations or agencies that government has championed from day one, and when they started, they didn't look like a business for the private sector. But because of growth, because of investment, and because of the way the world has, turned now, it suddenly is looking attractive for the private sector. So some of those investments or some of those agencies or organizations will require private sector initiative. So most of the time, what the first, level to it is for the government to retain a certain part of the business and invite investment or investors, to collaborate with them, to do it. So because of that, you have a number of initiatives, projects that people now today classify as PPP, public partnership between government and the private sector. And most of those things are, or initiatives, are businesses that will have, to do with, social interaction with the people, that will have to do with the welfare of the people. For instance, transportation. And government is interested because it touches the core, of the day-to-day living of the citizen. So government interest is to ensure that yes, it's a business, but it also has to wear a human face. And yes. So most of the time, there will be government, partnership. Some of this partnership will bring about, subsidies, that will inform price management, so that it doesn't, go out there as commercial business or private business that will price the middle to lower income earners out of that space. So a lot of those, underlying reasons will inform, partnership between government and the private sector.
Okay, so let's talk about risk now. In every business we have, risk. Let's talk about the arguments for the PPPs, in risk sharing. What are the samples of risk that this is involved in urban transportation, and what risks do you think that amongst all of this risk, okay, government should have to bear this, the private enterprise or individuals should have to bear this? Talk to us about the risk in transportation.
Yeah, you see, for economists like us, government has a lot of work to do in assuring investors and guaranteeing investors money that they are going to invest in these businesses. So because of it, they are going to be part of the business. Sometimes they retain just a little bit of it just to show goodwill and give guarantee, enabling guarantee that look, we are sure that this business is lucrative, it will bring the required income. And the risks are quite numerous. You have governance risk, you have the issue of guarantee and security of investment that's resulting from the performance of the economy itself. You have the risk of regulation, because in the end all businesses have to be regulated, and so the investor has to be guaranteed of government's protection, because if there's too much regulation, businesses will really not thrive because they still have to do business. And when you kind of stifle them with regulation, it makes it difficult for businesses to thrive.
Yeah.
So investors will need those kind of guarantees for them to come all out and put money. Because in the end, government cannot put their hands in all businesses. In any case, they shouldn't be in business. what they need to do is to create the enabling environment, create the regulation, and so that they are able to do their oversight. If government is too invested in business, it will be counterproductive to their ability to regulate the business or regulate the space and environment, and it will not be to the advantage of the consumers or the people that government seeks to protect. Ultimately.
Okay. All right. Let's talk. You talked about regulations. Let's talk about accountability.
Yeah.
Now, how does government ensure transparency and accountability, especially when private investors are involved in this particular business?
It is for government not to it's kind of tricky.
Okay.
Because given the character and attitude of government over the years,
Okay.
when most of the time when government is involved in business, there's a lot of vested consideration, interests that are beyond the core business itself. So, and most of them they interfere with the running of the business, and so it hampers the capacity of whoever they are partnering with to really deliver optimally. So, having said that, so government role really is one, to take a back seat so that they are able to regulate, two, to demand accountability, and to stop what I would call this dash mentality. That we are partnered with this person and we know it's our friend, therefore they don't ask any questions. So those are the issues. Whereas when you have private sector initiatives or businesses, and for instance, quoted companies, there are regulations. You must render your account at the end of the year, and your various regulators will come and check your books and ensure that you are doing the right thing. Governance is properly entrenched in the business. So those are the kind of things that should happen, whether it's PPP or a PLC or a limited. So it is the same rules that should apply, and they are enabling rules that govern all sectors. So government should not throw their weight in between the ability of people to do their job and the people who should regulate. So everybody should be allowed to do their job. Government should appoint people to the board, and trust those people to do their job and ask questions, demand accountability. Play the role of a proper investor. They should expect dividends. They should ask questions. They should, focus on also, returns on investment. If they have made investment, everybody wants returns on investment. So don't do this dash mentality. You invest and you don't look back. You move to the next one. You move to the next one. No, if you have invested somewhere, there has to be returns on that. Yeah. So get your returns. If they don't come, ask questions. And when there is time to audit, of course, and as investors, tell people that are representing you, either on their board or in the company, to also do their job and render a report from time to time. So when they do this, there are checks and balances. So everybody will work. People that have put money, stakeholders will get their returns, the company will thrive, and people will be able to create jobs for everybody.
Okay, let's come back to Lagos and let's talk about lag ride.
Yes.
A lot of people, I see the vehicles on the street of Lagos. A lot of people see it on the street of Lagos. But I kid you not, a lot of people do not know. They don't even know how it operates. They don't even know what they see. I heard somebody say one day, he said, official vehicle, honestly, and I couldn't but just laugh. Tell us, what lag ride is and how it operates, for the benefits of the viewers.
Okay, you can't tell the story of lag ride without crediting the present government of Ghana, Adeniyi Sanwo-Olu. It was something they backed, and I think they started with 1,000 vehicles. It was a social, welfare project to empower, people. And you recall that when this government was campaigning, he campaigned on his team's agenda, and transportation was number one. Yeah. So, and they, envisioned that they need to deliver for Lagosians a very strong, reliable, an efficient public transportation system, and one of the consideration was to have a cab services that can serve a city like Lagos. And you will see that the city is big, the population is high, so we can't but modernize, and that's what gave birth to Lagos Ride. So they started 1,000. They and they ran it for a while. They gave opportunity to the ordinary people on the street, and to participate. I have met people since I joined Lagos who didn't know anybody in government, who just applied and they got a vehicle, and it started off their life. And today they are better off. Those guys have gone ahead, after fully, paying down, because they gave it a lease, they subsidized it, and people got a brand new vehicle for as low as 7 million, 11 million, and I don't think there was any time he went past 11 million. So that was how cheap people got those vehicles then. So
and they had to spread the payments,
and they were paying as low as 10,000 naira per day.
Oh.
Not just for the rent, but for every other thing. So that's something huge that it takes a very bold government, to think through and deliver on. So, and people have built on it. They've gone ahead to own 1, 2, or 3 other vehicles of their own. So that was what the government started. But after a year, a company called CIG came forward to collaborate with government. We just touched, the topic of PPP now.
Yeah.
That okay, government does not have business in business. So government also now saw that it was becoming big. It was very successful. It wasn't something they could now just hold on their own. They needed to, expand and let investors come in, people who have experience and they are competent, to do the job. So CIG came, and sitting with government, they signed a joint venture, so they became partners, and they decided to move the fleet from the 1,000 that they started with to, they added under 5,000 to make it 6,000, So, and that's going to happen in the next 3 years. So, we've just completed a year, so we have 2 more years to have 5,000 additional vehicles on the streets of Lagos. And the difference is that they are going to be brand new, and we have moved from just lease to giving people opportunity, those who just want to work, to come in, get employment from Lagride, and once they go through our process, they pass, we give them a vehicle, and they make a living with it. So we have also
for those that do not have the initial bulk payment.
Yes, some people will just tell you, no. The process is this, is that they just want to earn a living. So we've done that.
That's good.
We have also done what we call rental. So and that's what you see in big cities all over the world. You came into town, particularly 30 December period, and you just want to have a car, or you want to do a quick business as a driver. You just come, you rent a vehicle, you do your business and cash out during that period, or any other period for that matter. And the last one is what we just did with UBA. That's what you call the drive to own project.
Yeah, that's
so you can
fantastic.
yes, you come forward, you are a driver, you have your license, you go through our process, you pass, and you have a clean record, because we're going to check all of that. So we will take you to UBA, and UBA has guaranteed to finance for anyone who will come through Lagride, and you get your vehicle, and you pay over a period. Once you complete payment, you own the vehicle, and you can walk away and become your own man and start your life.
This thing is,
while you are with us, whatever you are making, you just pay your rent, and whatever that is left is your own to keep body and soul together and take care of your family. So, and that is what we're doing. So it's a laudable initiative. It's something that, the way we are moving and the way we see it is going to change the story of urban transportation in Lagos, and it's a template that other states can also look and adopt for their states.
They're making it sound so beautiful and so easy, because people will always have the opinion that anything government, you need to know somebody that knows somebody to know somebody and somebody. Won't people face this difficulty? And most of the times what puts people off again is the process. You tell me to go and look for my father's grave when my grandfather's property CEO of that I don't know where the house was. Things like that. The cumbersome processes. Has it been made easy for the average Lagosian?
Okay, so one of the things we have guaranteed is that you don't need to know anyone. Lagrai's office, we have 2 operational offices now. We have one in Ikeja, there's VI. So I'm seated in Ikeja. So you can walk it at any time. Just come in, bring your driver's license. I think you need LASDRI and LASRA. So, and our guys will be there, they will take you through the process and you qualify. Because look, the things that people complain about, and what I've found out about some of us, is that we don't want to go through the process. We just want to walk in, get the car or whatever opportunity that the moment there's government in it, do you understand? Immediately people just want to have it for free and they don't want to go through. Look, due diligence is key. Go anywhere in the world, you have to do due diligence. We have to check you out. We have to understand that the people you are doing business with are credible and are able to meet the demands of the business. So yes, because it's important.
Yeah.
Because they are going to be paying daily rental, and you have to be sure they are healthy, they are hearty, they are strong, and if they don't have, even if they don't have the required experience, they are willing to learn. So all of that we need to check out. Once we are satisfied, and of course there has to be guarantors. And it's the same thing if you go to a bank for lease. It's standard everywhere, whether it's a bank, whether it's a leasing company, and if you come to Lagrai, it's the same process. Do you understand? So once you know the process, just come forward, you get the vehicle. It's difficult that someone just walks in and you give the person a 32 million vehicle and you don't check anything. People have invested in the business. So that's that.
All right, let me quickly ask this. We are talking about congestions everywhere in Lagos.
Yes.
And if there's anything that some of us that take the public transportation is enjoying, is the fact that there's a corridor, there are corridors for the government-owned buses.
Yes.
And I've discovered that a lot of times I don't think I've seen that ride on that corridor. 1. Then 2, you are bringing about 5,000 other vehicles now to the congested Lagos.
And even me, I still want to buy another car.
So what have you done? What are your traffic management plans?
Number 1, the issue of congestion. You can't take it away totally from big cities. Go to Bangkok, go to London, go to New York. It's the same story everywhere. So it's a major demand on infrastructure. So the first thing is, and of course, government is right now. There's a major reconstruction going on Lekki Expressway. So government has continued to open new roads, build new roads, expand, create new windows and connections. So to expand road network, that is number 1. Number 2 is that I think we're going to move to, if you live in London now, you don't need to even go out with your car. There's no need, because there's provision already and it's cheaper sometimes. So I think that we are going to have to move to that economy very soon. So of course, Lagos is not big, but it's not a small city like that. 2, the roads are expanding. Infrastructure is expanding. We used to have a situation where there was concentration of infrastructure, so it would be blocked. But now there are other cities that are developing, so it's spreading out. And traffic management system in Lagos is top notch. Last mile, everybody, and you must give credit to those guys. And we are a private sector, collaboration now. So government cannot build a different lane for us, and we can't take BRT lane. BRT lane is for the public, and it's a major initiative to support transportation system in Lagos and help, the middle to lower class people. Even abroad, prime ministers take public transportation. So we need to get to that point. And the rail tracks are getting open now every day. I saw even federal government has a budget to further develop Lagos tracks. So we are going to have various channels. It will address road transportation problem in Lagos. Now there's water transportation that is also being championed by Lagos. The rail is there. So when we have all these channels, so there will be alternatives for people, and there will be less, less pressure and concentration on road transportation. And those of you that have cars, there is lag right now. You don't need to put your cars on the road every day.
Okay, let me hold this
because they look so posh that you feel that somebody like me cannot afford the
let me put him on the spot.
Let me put him on the weekends when you have to go with your family.
Okay. Let me put you on the spot now, because was it 2 weeks ago, my car was at the mechanics, and I was to go out a distance, ordinarily maybe about 30 minutes thereabout, and I said to myself, okay, let me do paid one of those paid cabs. So I went on to the app, and I saw 22,000. I was like, waiting, kilo day. I remember that those days when I was about 3 years ago, when I was still using my other SUV. At times I'll just say I'm tired, I don't want to drive. I'll just take, paid cab to work and back. But now you realize that it's even cheaper to carry my car, and all of that. So what difference is lag ride to other paid cabs? Why should I opt for lag ride other than any other paid cab?
Okay, the first thing I would like to say is that prices
really,
they're determined by a lot of things.
And the app is it really functional?
The app is very functional. Very functional. Just download the lag ride app from the Play Store and you are good. It's totally user friendly, so you don't need anyone to assist you. So you can get it. Okay. Now, competition will eventually measure price. You understand? So it's still a space that requires a lot of actors to come in.
Okay.
So once you have that, clearly and definitely, price will come down. And of course, the state has a duty to, to bring in more competitors. That's one. Number two, we can't determine price for other outfits, but we can talk about lag ride.
That's what I'm asking. Why should I opt for lag ride?
I'm sure you didn't call lag ride. Then, so I don't know where. Then, of course, what distance are you covering? Do you understand? So if you see 22,000 naira, it must mean that you are going a bit far. Sometimes when we drive our cars, we don't know how many kilometers we have covered.
Yeah.
It is when you go through public transport that you understand that you are really moved. So those are the issues. But ultimately, there is need for control. There is need for to strengthen regulation. There is need for a comprehensive enabling law to manage a lot of things, and there is need to open the space a lot more for more actors to come in, so that all of these things will be managed to the advantage of the users or the riders.
Well, it's been so educative. So you have told us today that anybody, the layman on the street, can just walk in and be a part of this. So finally, before we let you go, can you want to say something for me?
No, I said be a car owner.
Yes. Very, very interesting to know that, there are different, will I call it bundles or different plans, plans for people that the Lagos state government has put in place to make life easy for its citizens. Okay, we'll learn to let you go now, but quickly, maybe in 10 seconds, if you had to advise a city that is just beginning to explore the PPP in urban transportation, what would be your top-notch recommendation?
One, put the right people, get the right people to work for you. Two, demand accountability. Is important. If you put your money somewhere, you need to have expectations. And three, tighten regulation. Do you understand? So step back and let the businesses run, and put the right shocks in place to check, and balance things. Regulation is key for any city or any nation, particularly Lagos State. what they need now is one, additional inflow of infrastructure and investment, then regulation. Because the city is becoming, the population is exploding. So you can't have a city like this with the kind of population you are without strong regulation and the capacity to enforce. It's important so you can have a decent city. And we have seen a lot of us travel. We've seen how the city of London, for instance, is the most developed, has the most developed transportation system in the world. And you can see the regulation, everything, and you see. And I think that we are modeling, London with all the things that we are putting in place now. So we need to be big on regulation. We need to be big on attracting investment, and we need to put the right people in places of interest, and expect and demand accountability at all times. It's important.
All right, thank you very, very much for giving us the load of information. I'm sure because I have been educated and I have been informed, and I know that even our viewers out there, they've gotten a lot of information now, most especially our viewers in Lagos. They know what to do and what to do and what to do right to access Lagride and to be even a part, of to be a car owner even in Lagos. It's been so much about public-private partnership in urban transportation. And our guest this morning has been the Executive Director of Lagride Nigeria Limited in the person of Mr. Saliu Adeniyi. Thank you very much for being our guest.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.